Well, good evening. This is Scotty Sanders. Welcome to my Facebook Live. So I hope you're off to a good week. And so I'll be talking about episode 3, which is dealing with being a good strategic leader. So I may have mentioned to you last week that I hired a new coach that's helping me in one specific area, but I love getting coached and I love coaching people to help them to lead themselves better. But let me tell you one little story. I've had a little smile on my face this afternoon, so I was going to be transparent and share this with you. So, we can get coaching and we can learn from so many different people. And so some of you know I've got 4 granddaughters, and I learned a lot from them. But my next to the youngest granddaughter, Jessica Claire, she's been helping me on pronouncing my words a little better. She says, "Papa, you say Monday." Okay, and especially I do Facebook Live because it's on Mondays, and so she's helped me to say Monday. She said, "Papa, it's not Monday, it's Monday." So I hope you're having a good Monday. Now I got it better, and I'm gonna let my granddaughter see this. That coaching from her has helped me to pronounce that a little bit better. I usually go fast on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I need to say Monday, and tomorrow is Tuesday. Well, listen, again, I hope you're off to a good start. And we always want to say Monday, get off to a double start of the week. You want to get twice as much done on Mondays than any other, I said it again, on Mondays than any other day of the week. Again, this is episode 63, and my name is Scotty Sanders, and I'm an international leadership consultant, and my purpose is to encourage and to empower others to live, lead, and finish well. So usually all of my talks are geared toward that, helping you to lead yourself well, because I believe when you lead yourself well, it gives you an opportunity to lead others. So let's get rolling. So I'm going to talk about these qualities of a good strategic leader. All right, before I do that, one other little note. Today we were processing an order, and some of you know that I'm the executive director and the founder of Quest of the Keys. It's a wonderful nonprofit that we encourage and empower the next generation to discover their purpose, unlock their potential, and live with passion. You can go to questofthekeys.org to find out more information. But we provide books, training resources, including videos and curriculum and posters and lots of ancillary resources to help students to be empowered to live a better life, take personal responsibility. And today we got process orders with our fulfillment company, and it was over 1,000 books that went to 6 different schools, and it was literally 6 different states. I was super encouraged by that, and some of those states were states that we have not been in yet. So that's always an encouragement to me. I appreciate our team and the work that's done there to make that happen. So if you're interested in supporting the next generation, to encourage them, then you can be a supporter at questofthekeys.org, and we'd love to have you on our team. All right, so let's get into the talk. Again, I'm going to be dealing with the qualities of a good strategic leader. Okay, now being strategic is really kind of thinking about where you are and where you want to be and the things that you need to do to get there, okay? So that's how I think about strategic. So this doesn't line up exactly that way. But here's the first one. First thing to be a good strategic leader is this. The qualities of a good strategic leader is passionate about the work that the organization is doing. If you're leading an organization or involved in an organization as a leader and you're not passionate about that, it's hard to move the ball forward if people don't see your passion. So, and I've said this before, passion is contagious. So helping to move the organization forward is seeing your passion that goes to others because it's contagious. And that really leads to becoming a more inspirational leader. It's hard to fake that, but when you're passionate about what the organization is doing, it just naturally happens. So that's the first one. Second, manages the resources to maximize the effectiveness. So you take whatever the resources the organization has, and how do you maximize those resources to effectiveness? Now, let me just remind you, there is a difference in effectiveness and efficiency. Efficiency is making sure you do things right, Effectiveness is doing the right thing. So you always want to make sure, first and foremost, are these the right things? The organization I'm leading, are these the right things that we need to be doing? And then you work on making it better. But you don't start with efficiency, you start with effectiveness. Are these the right things? So a good strategic leader, they make sure they maximize the resources of the organizations and the organization on the things that bring about effectiveness. All right, so number 3, a quality of a good strategic leader is someone that's willing to change and they're willing to lead change. Okay, now I've known some people that they're willing to lead change, but they're not willing to change themselves. And sometimes as a leader, we expect people to change, but we don't always want to change ourselves. So it's a both and. So we've got to be willing to change, but we also have to be willing to change ourselves. All right, and we have to be willing to lead the organization to the change that's needed. And change is always painful. All right, it's never easy. So you got to communicate well. You got to show some empathy, and you got to make sure you pace that in the proper way. Change is always hard, but it's needed in every organization. Here's the 4th one: willing to take a hard look at the state of the organization. Take a hard look at it. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are the potential marketing changes that need to happen? What are some vulnerabilities within the organization? What are some staff issues that need to be dealt with? What are some product issues? What about environment issues? Things that you need to deal with. Take a hard look at it. And listen, some of you that know me, I like things to go well. I like to see growth happen. And it frustrates me at times when it doesn't happen. But part of that is I need to take a hard look. What may be causing the organization not to grow at that time? Okay, and so that's part of the strategic leader, to take a hard look at the organization and make sure. The leader, and I love this definition by Max Dupree, that a leader's job description basically is to define reality. That's part of your role. You got to speak reality, because some leaders spend their time touching up the x-rays to make people feel better. But that really kills you in the long run if you do that. Here's number 5, willing to take risk. Willing to take risk. And I'm not saying take risk just for risk's sake. Take risks that make sense, that you believe is in the best interest for the organization. And you have to be willing to take calculated risk when needed. So you always want to count the costs. What's the downside? What's the upside? What's the return on my investment? When you take some great risk, there's potential for great return. But you got to make sure you got enough in reserves and it doesn't put your company under. So you got to be wise about doing that. But a good strategic leader is willing to take risk. Number 6, seeks feedback. That's something you're always getting feedback. Every time you do something, you're asking for feedback. How did it go? What could we have done better? What could we improve on? Should we do this in the future? And then also you're getting feedback from others about yourself. And that's sometimes a challenge, because some people, honestly, they don't want to share with you because how you might react. So you really have to give people permission to speak to you. And then that mitigates landmines. We all have blind spots and landmines. And if we're not careful, we'll step on a landmine because we didn't see it. But when we get feedback, we mitigate getting blown up, if you will. And it also mitigates blind spots. And we all have some blind spots, okay? So just know that. But the more feedback you get, you reduce the number of blind spots that you have. So a good strategic leader gets feedback, seeks feedback. And then number 7, to kind of wrap it up, discipline and practicing an ongoing cycle of dreaming, planning, implementing, and evaluating. So dreaming, you got to dream a big dream, but you also have to put some plans. You got to put that on paper. And then you got to take it from paper and you got to execute, or you got to be able to implement what you said you're going to do. If not, you're not much of a strategic leader. You're a dreamer, but not a strategic leader. A strategic leader knows how to take ground. They know how to implement. And once you've implemented that, you have to take a hard look and evaluate, kind of getting that feedback again. What went well? What could we improve in the future? A strategic leader never stops in doing this. They're always dreaming. They're always planning. They're always implementing. They're always evaluating. They go from one thing to the next thing. They're going to have a certain rhythm, but you're always doing those kind of things because you're always wanting to move the organization forward. Again, you want to take yourself where you are. And so here's point A. This is where we are. You've defined reality. What do we need to do to get to point B? And what are those steps to do that? That's kind of this dreaming, planning, implementing, evaluating that you do along the way. And sometimes you can take a step back. I mean, I felt like there's something happened today. It was like, man, I took a step back in some regard. Sometimes you take a step back, but then you're able to take 3 or 4 steps forward. So don't focus so much on the step back. Now, I'm talking to myself here because sometimes when I take a step back, I don't like it. But sometimes taking a step back helps you to learn. You grow from that, and you're able to go faster in the future. Sometimes you have to go slow in order to go fast. Well, listen, work on being a good strategic leader. And what I've found, you never have enough good strategic leaders in any organization. If you'll work on becoming a good strategic leader, it may lead to more pay for you, a better job, more responsibility down the road. Listen, I hope this has helped you. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and let's keep leading until next time we get together. Take care.